advantage. If you ask everyone to lead, no one does. Celebrate the success of your leaders, and the true test is how many leaders you have, not followers. It baffles me that sometimes I'm a little difficult to get in touch with because there's a lot of people that text and call and this and that, email, all kinds of stuff. But it amazes me that people sometimes give me the feeling that their business is at a standstill if I don't get right back. Now, I'm not talking about anybody specifically in this room, but I'm just saying that should have no bearing on what you're building. This is about you. It's about your organization. I'm going to tell you a personal story. And I mean this not from an arrogant perspective. I mean it from, it's the truth. When I first got in this industry in 1996, one of my best friends recruited me. He stuck around probably until the day after he recruited me. That was 16 years ago. I didn't meet my upline, which would have been considered an SVP, until I hit the position that was considered SVP. I started getting phone calls. Hey, Steve, look, this is so-and-so out of upstate New York. That's where he lived. I just want to say congratulations, man. I see you hit senior vice president. That was called regional vice president. If there's anything you need, man, you let me know. I'm here for you. Look, gracious call, but it was already done. But here's my point to everybody listening, is that I didn't have an upline leader to lean on. The upline leader was in the mirror. All the learning curves, everything I had to go through. See, today you see double platinum senior vice president. You see one of the individuals selected to do the presentation for the entire company tomorrow night. But what you didn't see was in 1996, when I was first asked to do a training at a Super Saturday that had 300 people, and I almost passed out because I didn't know I was going to be called on until he actually called on me. We're going to take a 5-minute break and come back and hear from executive trainer, that was the level I was at, Mr. Steve Carter. And I'm in the audience, like, that's not funny at all. And I'm looking at him like, don't play like that because other people are going to think you're serious. He looked back at me, 5-minute break. We're coming back. We're going to get customer acquisition done by Mr. Steve Carter. I made a beeline right to him. Hey, I don't have my notes. I wasn't prepared for this. Don't throw me into the wolves. I'll do the next one, not this one. He looked at me. You're up. I said, I tell you what, I'll do next Saturdays. Just give me a chance to prepare. Blah, 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 blah. Sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, wah, wah. And he just looked at me and said, you're up. So I started contemplating, do I just run out of this building and run to my car and get the heck out of here? Or do I face my fears and actually do this and not even know what I'm going to say, where to even begin? And I walked up in front of that room and did a training on customer acquisition. And afterwards, he came up to me and put his arm around me. And he told the entire audience, this was Steve Carter's first time ever speaking in front of a room. And he didn't know I was going to call him. Did he do a great job? And everybody in the audience stood up and clapped. And I don't think they stood up and clapped because of the great job I did. I thought they stood up and clapped because I did it anyway. And that became a burden that was lifted off of my back. And it was a breakthrough for me. And I said to myself, wow, maybe I can do this. I'd never considered standing in front of a room on a stage and training somebody. And when I said to him I wasn't ready, he said to me, you're ready and don't know it, but I know it. And the best thing I can do for you is to put you up there. Just teach what you know, Steve. You're already at what was considered like the executive trainer level. You've already recruited some people. You've already gotten some customers. Tell them what you know. I was in like the 50 customer club, and that was back when each customer was worth 1 point. So it wasn't like, we got 50 different individuals. So when he said, just tell them what you did to do that, that became a little more comforting for me to be able to walk up and just speak from the heart. And I think that's one of the reasons that my style today is speak from the heart. Just like when Eric called me and said, look, I need you to do pastor's training. I said, what time? 1 o'clock. I'm like, 1 o'clock? What's the subject? Can you email me the slides? I'm not at my computer. All right, I'm on the way. But my point is, 16 years later, sometimes you're still faced with having to jump on a stage and not even knowing what you're going to speak. But you stand up there and you give the people from here what you know. And if they get it and they receive it, they're going to implement it and they're going to use it for their business.